Let's talk about Linsanity.
Well, listen, I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts these days, and I can tell you if there's any place where Linsanity has taken hold beyond New York, it's in Cambridge, because there are so many people there who knew Jeremy Lin when he was in school. He was a top flight player for Harvard. The coach there is now, as Tommy Amaker, the Harvard coach, has brought Harvard into the top 25 in the country. First time Harvard's ever been there. So everybody says, you know, those Ivy League kids, they're very smart, but they can't play. You know, it's not serious athletics. And it turns out, here we've got Jeremy Lin from Harvard as basketball, and you've got Andrew Lack from Stanford playing football. You know, some of these top schools can also bring top athletes. Very healthy for everybody. You know, it's the Greeks understood you have to be strong in body, mind, and soul, but the body is an important part of that.
Is this the first time that there's a Harvard grad that's in the NBA?
I think he's the third or fourth Harvard grad, but I can't remember anyone who's caused the kind of sensation that he has. You know, we're talking about him in Harvard classrooms. I had a class earlier this week in which we spent time, and everybody in that class knew exactly who he was and could tell me chapter and verse what he'd been up to, what kind of points he'd gotten, how he prepared, what kind of individual he was. You know, they're trying to draw lessons from that. And, you know, it's been quite striking in a secular school like Harvard, and that he himself says that it was his Christianity, his religious devotion that really helped him in basketball. That is quite an interesting conversation to have on a college campus about the importance of God and the lives of young people. And you know, too often in this country we've buried that question. We've sort of shuffled it off to the side, and yet there are an awful lot of young people for whom religion is a very fortifying quality in their lives. And so the Jeremy Lin story is one that I think that inevitably he's not going to be able to keep his pace up. We all know that. But I do think there's a lot to be learned from the Jeremy Lins who come through the athletic side. You know, sports has often been a training ground for leaders and people who play athletics. And, you know, one of the best things that's happened on college campuses is that Title IX and the coming of women's sports have become so important to universities, and that's made a huge difference in the life of universities that women's sports are now as popular as women's basketball. You know, at Duke, I'm on the board of Duke, and for a long time we've had students who stayed out all night, you know, waiting to get tickets for Duke basketball games. Now they stay out all night. They have tents to get tickets to women's games. It's great.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you.